Hi everyone, this is Kristen, looking for a super protective slim case for your iPhone 11 and confused about the difference between the Speck Presidio Sport and the Speck Presidio Pro. Both offer impressive drop protection, a soft touch finish, and feature Microban for what Speck calls invisible cleanliness, but how do they compare in other ways? Let's check them out in a bit more detail on my iPhone 11 in green. Looking at the Presidio Pro and Presidio Sport in a head-to-head comparison, we got the Presidio Pro here in blue on the right, and then we've got our Presidio Sport here in black on the left. You'll notice that the Presidio Sport is bigger in basically every dimension as opposed to the Pro. So your Presidio Sport is a bit taller. It is noticeably wider and it is thicker as well. So the Pro definitely wins in the sleekness category, although both of them are reasonably sleek cases. But there are reasons why your Sport is going to be a bit thicker than the Pro and a bit larger and wider as well, as it is a 3-layer case as opposed to the 2 layers that you have in the Presidio Pro. It also has port protection, which the Presidio Pro lacks. Looking at the Presidio Sport in more detail, we have a soft touch finish on the exterior. It has a nice feel to it, gives you a nice amount of grip to this case, just enough so it feels secure in your hands. There are 3 layers of protectiveness on this. You have a polycarbonate shell, you have a layer of Impactium, which is underneath this lining layer. That's kind of the middle layer you can't see. Impactium normally is just along the edges of Presidio cases, but in this particular case for the Sport, we have a hidden layer on the back of Impactium as well, sandwiched in between the outer layer and inner layer. This case is going to give you 15 feet of drop protection, which is really quite impressive. And we do have port protection here. We got a port covering here for your lightning port opening. We have individual speaker and microphone holes, and then going over here to your mute switch area, there is also a cover for that. So overall, this should be a very protective case for your iPhone 11. In contrast, if you look at the construction of the Presidio Pro, we have a similar soft touch finish on the exterior. The interior, you have your line of Impactium that goes around the edges, but we don't, as far as I can tell, have an inner layer of Impactium here on the back, just around the perimeter. And we do not have any port opening covers here, so no individual speaker and microphone holes, no port opening cover here for your lightning port, and you don't have any cover here for the mute switch area. Definitely a little lighter weight and thinner than the Presidio Sport. This case is going to give you 13 feet of drop protection, which is of course also very impressive. Putting your phone in the Presidio Sport case, this time using the pretty green one, which matches my green iPhone 11 so beautifully. Very easy case to get on. Looking at the fit of the Presidio Sport on my iPhone 11, we have really an excellent fit on here. No give even over typical trouble spots such as your buttons and your port openings. Very nice tight fit, particularly impressive given the fact that this is quite an easy case to get both on and off your phone. We also have plenty of lip on here, very nice and protective. I do have an edge-to-edge screen protector on here right now. This is the new Rhino Shield 3D Impact screen protector. Fits great with this case. If I had a thicker tempered glass screen protector on here, there'd be a little bit less visible lip, but still you're going to have plenty of protective lip with pretty much any screen protector that I can think of with this case. Looking down here at our port openings, we do have individual speaker and microphone holes, which is nicely protective for those areas, and we have a covered lightning port area. Of course, this case does support wireless charging, so you might find you're using this lightning port area less than you otherwise would. You, of course, will be able to fit many third-party lightning cables here. Personally, in the past, I've always found covered lightning port areas like this to be a little bit of a pain because it was always something you had to fiddle with in order to charge your phone. However, now that we have wireless charging, it's not really something that you need to be opening and closing very much at all. So I really appreciate having the additional protection here, keeping that area safe from dust or dirt. Going around to the sides here, we have a nice amount of grip with this. The material on this case gives you a low to mid grip, still is going to slide easily in and out of pockets and handbags, but gives you a secure grip on the phone. Our buttons here are quite good. They're not quite as good as the ones on the Presidio Pro. Slightly more effort to press, but really overall excellent, and I don't think that I would notice that they were at all inferior if I wasn't looking at them right next to the Presidio Pro. The Presidio Pro is just a hair better, but overall really quite good here with the buttons. And then going over here to our mute switch, again we have another little door. This one is a little bit more difficult to access your mute switch through. Still not really a problem, just a little bit more effort required. Looking here at the top, you can see the fit here of the case on the phone. Again, 3D Impact Rhino Shield screen protector here. And then going over here to our side button, very nice button, no issues there. Looking at the back of the Presidio Sport, really impressed first of all with what a great color match this particular version is with my green iPhone 11. Really nice color combo. This case does support wireless charging, as I mentioned before. This material here is very soft underneath the fingertips, gives you a nice amount of grip, and is going to be fingerprint and scratch resistant. However, really greasy fingerprints will show up, so be aware of that. Probably not a great idea to put a bunch of lotion on your hands and be touching this, because you will get smears on it as a result. But overall, for ordinary fingerprints and scratches, this is going to be quite resistant. The material does have a tendency to collect lint and cat hair and things like that, so that is a little bit of a drawback of this type of material, but other than that, I find it to be really quite a nice material to have on your phone case. Looking at our profile here, it's a little thicker than some cases, but overall really not too bad. And we do have plenty of protection here for your protruding camera. One nice feature that both the Presidio Sport and the Presidio Pro have is Microban protection built into the case. So basically Microban is going to limit the buildup of stain and odor causing bacteria. That's particularly important when you think of all the nasty places that your phone goes. It's not going to help against viruses like the coronavirus as far as I know, but at least it will help against certain bacteria. So that's just a nice feature with this. It's not something that's going to rub off. As I said, it's going to be there for the lifetime of the case. Removing the Presidio Sport from your phone is really easy. Just start in the one corner, push it off, go down to the bottom corner, and you're done. Looking at the black version of the Presidio Sport, again, great looking case. Of course, we have exactly the same features with the black version as with the lovely teal version that I was just showing you. Same nice amount of lips, same covered port openings, great feel in the hand. Looking at the back of the case, everything looks lovely. Got our Speck branding up here in the corner, lovely velvety finish on the exterior. Definitely going to be fingerprint and scratch resistant, although you are going to have some issue with greasy smears if you use this with greasy hands, so be aware of that. No issue with wireless charging. Plenty of protection here for your protruding camera. And overall a really nice sleek look. I will say that this black color tends to show lint a bit more than the green color we were looking at before, but other than that I think it looks great on the phone. And you gotta love that 15 feet of drop protection. Moving on to our Speck Presidio Pro. In terms of fit, the Presidio Pro has got a great fit on the iPhone 11. We got a tiny bit of give over your buttons and your port openings, but really very little. I really only mention it because the Presidio Sport is better. The Presidio Sport is basically perfect in those areas, and the Presidio Pro is really good. So I don't think it's going to be an issue for either case, but it's something worth mentioning. Looking at the amount of lip we have on here, we have a nice amount of protective lip on here, basically the same as on your Presidio Sport. And like the Presidio Sport, this fits wonderfully with the Rhino Shield 3D Impact edge-to-edge screen protector. Really nice look. Looking down here at our port openings, you'll see we don't have the individual speaker and microphone holes that we had on the Presidio Sport. We just have open areas here. We also don't have any cover for our lightning port area. You're going to be able to fit many third-party lightning cables here, no issues there. Of course, this case does support wireless charging, so you might find you're using that functionality less than you otherwise would. Going up the sides here, this material has a very nice feel underneath the fingertips. Nice soft touch material, gives you low to mid grip. It's not going to be super grippy like a Presidio grip, but it's also going to slide easily in and out of pockets and handbags, which is very nice. This material does feel very slightly less grippy than the material on the Presidio Sport. Not really sure why. Other than that, they're really similar, but this one just feels very slightly less grippy. We do have excellent buttons on here, very clicky, very responsive, and you have easy access to your mute switch. Looking at our view here from the top, everything looks excellent. And then going over here to our side button, very responsive. Looking at the back of the case, we got a little bit of Speck branding up here at the top, but that is it. Everything looks great. The material has a lovely feel underneath the fingertips, very velvety feeling. It's going to be quite scratch resistant as well as fingerprint resistant, but again, greasy fingerprints are going to show up. We do have plenty of protection here for the protruding camera. A little bit less than on your Speck Presidio Sport, but still plenty of protection. No issues with wireless charging, slim profile. I think that this is really a lovely case on the iPhone 11. I think the Presidio Sport is as well. It just depends upon what you're looking for. I mean, so if you're looking at them again side by side, here is our Presidio Sport on top and the Presidio Pro on the bottom. It's not a huge difference in size. And you do get that additional amount of drop protection. Presidio Pro 13 feet and Presidio Sport 15 feet. So both are great choices, just depends upon what it is you are looking for. And as I mentioned, they both do have that Microban protection so that you have antimicrobial protection against bacteria that causes stain and odors. So that's always a nice feature to have. So overall, I think that these are both great case choices. It just depends upon which one better meets your needs. Again, we've been looking at the Speck Presidio Pro and Presidio Sport for iPhone 11. The Speck Presidio Pro has an MSRP of $39.95 and is available directly from Speck as well as from many other retailers. It comes in the Bali blue color featured in this review, as well as black, gray, coastal blue, and parrot pink. The Presidio Sport costs $5 more at $44.95 and comes in the jet ski teal and black colors featured in this review, as well as heart rate red. Many thanks to the kind folks at Speck for sending me out these samples to review. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer them. And please do consider subscribing to my channel because I have a lot more tech accessory reviews coming up. Again, this is Kristen with the Tech Reviewer with the Speck Presidio Pro and Speck Presidio Sport for iPhone 11. Thanks so much for watching and have a wonderful day.